This IM is super cheap, it looks good, it has detachable cable, and it has switch. So hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this is my review for CVJ TXS. I think this is the latest low budget IM from them, and yeah, it only costs around $11. Like I said, it has nice, take a look at that blue, it looks really nice. You got detachable cable also with switch. But does that switch really works? And how's the sound? So just like usual, I'll break down this review from the build, fit, frequency response, sound, and comparison. Honestly, I love the blue color choice that they use, but yeah, it's just plastic IM, so you don't expect anything really solid with this. It's just like the usual typical KZ or something like that. And the cable itself is it's QDC Type-C with very normal looking chip cable. And yes, you do get these switches, and you cannot use nail to change the position. You need to use a SIM card ejector for that. As for the ergonomics, even though they looks and feels cheap in my hand, but the ergonomics is initially it's perfect. I think it has something to do with the shape of the IM itself, but I really like the fit of this IM. I can wear them for hours without any complaint. Now regarding the sound and what the switches do, well, it doesn't really do anything with the tonality. It doesn't change the bass. It doesn't really change the upper, mid, or treble section. Maybe they change only 1 to 2 decibel to be said that it's really minor. Maybe, but if you're trying them and you turn on the switch number 1, maybe you think the other side is bassier, but that's not actually true. The thing is, the switch number 1 raise the volume a bit, but doesn't change a bit in its tonality. So I don't know why they are doing this with the switches. Maybe it's just looks cool like that. But yeah, the switch barely do anything. Now regarding the sound, as you can see here, it's a V-shaped IM with a lot of elevation on the bass area and upper mid-range, and after that it has a treble peak around 8K, and then the treble goes rolled off, and that's exactly what I hear from this IM. The bass is punchy. It's one of that kind of punchy V-shaped kind of sound. The upper mid-range is a little bit thin. You got some treble peaks around 8K, so some songs will be a little bit sibilant, but it's energetic, and I would say for $11, it's quite decent. Starting from the bass itself, it's a full-bodied, satisfying, punchy kind of bass. So when you're playing EDMs, pops, or a lot of music, you will hear that this IM has a lot of energy on the bass section, but it doesn't go over. It's just nicely thick and punchy. I like that, but it's definitely not for rock music. But for pops or EDMs, I would say that this is a fun IM. Now the mid-range does favor upper mid-range, so it's more highlighting higher human voices. And yeah, for male human voices, it sounds a little bit restrained and not open enough. But even though the mid-range itself is actually quite thin, and it, like I said, it favors upper mid-range, but it does have this kind of warmth because of the bass boost around the mid-bass area. It does give this kind of masking effect on the mid-range too. It does bleed a little, so making the mid-range a little bit thicker, but it's not. It's just you got that masking from the bass section, but the mid-range itself is actually a little bit thin, and it favors higher upper mid-range frequencies. So yeah, piano and guitar might be a little bit thin also, and also the vocal for male voices doesn't really sound that natural. Now the treble itself is, I would say, okay at this price point because this is $11. And yeah, I definitely feel that 8K peaks around the mid-treble area. It just gives this kind of a little bit of energy, but it can be a little bit hot on some music. Well, it depends on your tracks. If your tracks have some peaky treble, this will get that peak treble and gives you a little bit of spiciness. But honestly, for me, it's not over. It's not too much. It's there, but at least for my tolerance level, it's not overly bright or overly peaky. So in terms of tonality of this IM, I would say this is a simply fun V-shape IM, but with also typical weakness like some peaks in the treble area and some thin thinness in the mid-range area. It's just a fun but very typical V-shape kind of sound. Now for the price, the technical is just okay. I wouldn't say it's over good or overly bad. It's just okay for the price. At least if you're comparing them with the Linlong, well, it's just on the same level, so don't expect a good soundstage or separation with this. It's just okay. Now how is it compared to the one of, I think, around the best IM around under $20 like the Linlong here? Well, the KZ Linlong for me has better tuned. The mid-range is more neutral with better sub-bass extension, making it sounds somehow more refined compared to this CVJ TXS. Even though it has some switches, it doesn't really help anything. The CVJ TXS is actually a fun IM, but compared to the Linlong, I will simply say Linlong still sounds better. It's just maybe Linlong have more pressure built up when I'm using them, making it somehow have this driver flex. It doesn't have driver flex in the CVJ TXS. But overall, if you ask me, I would definitely still prefer the Linlong, and the price difference is only around $4. So what can I say about this IM? Well, it's kind of nice actually. You get switch around this price point, around $11 price point. But the thing is, the switch barely do anything. It only gives a little bit of elevation in overall volume level. It just making the mid-range and treble a little bit higher, but it's just 1 to 2 decibels, so it's not really noticeable honestly. And yeah, it's just that the tuning is just generic, kind of warm V-shape is because of that mid-bass bleed. I couldn't really, if you're searching for something that is really good at this price point, honestly, you will not get anything for $10, at least that's what I've tried. Maybe for $15 you do get something good like Linlong, but if you want maybe something that is bassy and fun and you're not afraid of dropping it or breaking it, yeah, this is maybe one of my choices because it fits good. It does have a fun sound, but it's not really balanced and not really technical, and the switch barely do anything. So that's all I can say about this IM. This is the final score for its tonal and also its technical. Nice try, CVJ. I hope you can release better IMs again. This is a nice try, but honestly not really competitive. So that's all I can say about the CVJ TXS. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.